Hi there, I'm Timothy Linsdau, video producer and a Christian. I only live a couple miles from the U.S.-Mexican border here in San Diego. Watching them build or add to the wall that was already here. And so I thought, well, I'll go down and take some video and look around and see what's going on. And we'll show you some of that today, and we'll get started here right away. Like and comment on the video and subscribe to my channel if you would. That'd be terrific, so I can bring you more of these things. Yeah, we just went down there all about as far as I could go west before I'd have to start hoofing it to get down to the very end. It's a couple miles, and I wasn't quite up to that, so we got as close as we could, zoomed in, captured some of the far west wall. There's a bull ring right on the ocean in Mexico, right where the wall terminates in the west into the ocean, which they've had to build a whole big complex to make that happen. And then we caught went and caught some places along the way. Some of them will show you, looks like a singular wall, but from what I can see in most places, at least a double, if not a triple wall. This piece of real estate down here between Tijuana and the U.S. is probably the most patrolled, protected, observed piece of real estate in the world, at least in my opinion. Wherever you go, there's Border Patrol. Stop and talk to them once in a while, see what's going on, ask them was there any construction going on that I could videotape. And there was some construction vehicles moving around, but not any place that I could get close to. Not only controlling the Border Patrol is looking out for safety. They don't want you getting hurt down there. But generally you can go most places, just don't get into anything that's posted restricted. One of the spots we did get is there's an area right on the hill, and the wall that you see is the big wall, the Trump wall. It's these 4x6 or 4x4 steel posts. They're hollow, and then on top of that are these big plates of steel, 4x8, something like that. Really big thing. I don't see anybody getting over that very easily. And if they do in any way, there's at least two walls, if not three, they got to go through. But one place was a chain link fence. And I thought, well, that's kind of odd. This massive wall behind it. I'm not even sure what that's there for. It's just to keep people on this side from going down and looking at the wall. But it didn't keep us because it was open. So we went in, looked around, took our video. Border Patrol came by and said hi, and he just asked, please don't get on the other side of the chain link fence. For one reason, when they go up and down the border, sometimes they get to moving pretty quickly, so it's safer if you're out of the way. But you know, it's not an issue, so you can go wherever. But we didn't get real close until, if you go down here on the end of what's called Dairy Mart Road. Dairy Mart Road gets that word, phrase, or name. It was a bunch of dairies in the field in the river valley at one time, and that's where the name comes from. With a lot of farming here at one time that there isn't now. There's some, but not a lot. But down in that, on the end of that street is water treatment plants for sewer, not only from this side but also the Tijuana side. They've been trying to help control the sewer that comes across from Tijuana and get that treated before it goes into the ocean, but it many times overflows, overwhelms the system, and ends up going in the ocean, which is causing us a bunch of problems. Hopefully they can get together. We're going to have to help them out They don't seem to have the money to take care of the problem, but that's a whole nother issue. But anyway, there was a couple places. I'll show you a couple of clips from the video where you're able to look a long distance on the border out and through up into the mountains. Some of you that may be familiar with a demilitarized zone like there was in Vietnam, an area where there's not supposed to be military action. But here, you might call it a DMZ, but it's more like a no man's land because there's a double or triple fence, and of course there's a space, so they're in wide open. In that space, they could catch people. Some of the shots, it seemed like there's at least 3 walls in places. One of the walls that you can get right up to, though, is they're concrete pillars. And I'll show you a photo or a shot of that. And that I think was built at the time they did Operation Gatekeeper, was over 20 years ago. Operation Gatekeeper was the beginning of really fortifying the border down here and stopping the mass groupings of immigrants coming over the border. They would gather during the day in places all along the border, and then they would rush across at night. It was a mess. People get on the freeway, get killed. They end up in your yard, breaking your fence down, or all kinds of craziness, trying to get over here to work. So that they did a lot to shut that down, not only with the walls, the original walls, but lighting. You've all heard of the landing mat walls. Those are the original things they used, but that is long since was being replaced some time ago. Some of the walls in this area have been up for a long time, and the new biggest wall is more recent, but some of them have been here a couple of years. This is not a brand new thing that's just happened. This wall process has been going on for years in many places. One of the prominent inland mountains here is Otay Mountain. There was a lot of impact from immigrants pouring over that when they started building the walls on the west end because it would push them east. It's a very difficult, sometimes treacherous environment. So when they're building a wall, they don't always need to be continuous. They can build in like to a cliff area where nobody's going to go probably, and then extend out from there, which is not uncommon. So you can get in places right to the wall. You can grab hold of it and look through it. You know, there's some places it's just too difficult to get there. Border Patrol not necessarily harass you, but they're just going to ask you to be careful. I have not met one that I didn't have a nice conversation with. They're charged with defending the American border, and that's their job. That's what they're supposed to do, and they're doing it. If you don't like certain laws, talk to your congressman. You know, that's kind of how it is. We're a land of laws. When you're watching the news some days, it looks like it isn't, but it is. And people trying to do them. In fact, let me mention that one of the best rescue operations in the world is in the Border Patrol, because they rescue so many people, because much of this Mexican and U.S. border is a very treacherous and difficult place. It's deserts and cactus and rocks, and very difficult place in many places. And so they have developed this rescue team that's quite efficient. I have seen them operate in the process of making a film there on Otay Mountain. You might check out my link on that film. I'll put it on the text link in the film, so you can watch that. But anyway, I was down there checking it out again. There's massive walls. It is as it is. So, you know, trying to bring this stuff to you once in a while. So like and comment on the video, subscribe to my channel, that'd be great. Put a couple of those clips in for you to see what's going on. So other than that, get out there and make it a great day for yourself.